parts of Europe. Well, that's just about it from me. Bye-bye for now.
On Friday's Wogan, old Pudsey here and young Sue Cook will be joining me to reveal the answer to the $64,000 question, how much was raised by the BBC's Children in Need programme last year? Well, they're still counting the last of the copper, but by Friday we'll have the final total and be meeting some of the many who will benefit from your generosity. So join us, 7 o'clock, BBC One.
Now we continue this Thursday morning with the main edition of Open Air.
Hello there. Take the weight off your feet, pull up a chair in front of the telly and join us for a special edition of Open Air. Thanks very much.
Well, in case you haven't guessed, we're here at the National Museum of Photography, Film and Television in Bradford.
There's just so much to see and do here in an attempt to make the history of television that bit clearer.
So come with us as we take a peek through the history of film, television and photography. Doesn't mean that we're not here to take your calls.
Yeah, so get on the phone and give us a ring. But let us tell you what we're doing this morning. In a moment, we take you on a tour around Bradford itself.
Then at 11:10, it's time to take a trip through the annals of TV history.
Then at 11:15, yes, friends, it's your chance to quiz Mr. Opportunity Knocks himself, talent spotter Hughie Green. And I mean that most sincerely, folks, I really do.
Then at 11:30, the image creator Roger Law reveals the success story behind his stars in latex.
At 20 to 12, cinema critic Ian Johnston gives his verdict on the future of British films. But what do you think of the industry?
And at 11:50, king of the paparazzi, photographer Richard Young shares his secrets on stalking and snapping the stars.
All that, plus a chance for people who have turned up at the museum today to have a go at everything from news readings to working a camera. And here is the number for you at home to get into focus. So there you are. Get on the phone and give us a ring. And here we are in Bradford. Now, it has to be said that to some people, Bradford, if the truth be told, conjures up images of cloth caps and clogs and a pint down in the local. But we know, having been here, it's not like that at all. So we sent our cameras out in the street to let you see the real Bradford.
There's your paper.
That bloody time. Where's our Eileen with my tea?
Eileen?
There you go, Dad.
What's that under your arm?
It's a baby, man.
Oh, no, that's not the baby. Who's the father this time?
I don't know, man. It was pitch black on the back of the chip shop.
Terribly irritated when I started talking down the south that I was considering moving to Bradford, and you know the attitude was Bradford, Bradford. You know, I mean, but the people that said that had either never been to Bradford or hadn't been to Bradford for 25 years, and so Bradford is like 190 miles from London and 190 miles from Glasgow and 190 miles from Edinburgh and about 190 miles from Cardiff. Daily flights to Belfast and Dublin. You know, I mean, it's very, very central. It's a wonderful environment, Bradford. I mean, the architecture is extraordinary. You mustn't forget that at one time Bradford was an extremely rich city, and those people that were in Bradford that time have built some of the most incredible buildings.
Last stop on rail will be young Ma Peggoty's place. 'Twas like taking bread to the world. 'Twas a grand ride back, though. I knew baker that kettle on, and doorsteps of it always ready.
Of course there's things in London that I want to go. I'm a Londoner. I want to go and visit. But it's very difficult for an artist to do anything creative in London, you know, because they're so busy sweating away trying to pay their rents and trying to survive in London. I mean, I'm not pitting this just against London. It's a nice, it's a wonderful place in its own right. And it's certainly, for me, it's got an absolutely brilliant future.
When's that baby gonna grow up and get a proper job?
Oh, stop your whining, Dad.
Oh, that's it, I've had enough. I'm going out to plough my whippets.
Now, one of the most fascinating exhibitions and noisy exhibitions at the museum is here in the television gallery. And who better to talk us through it than the TV curator, John Treluse. It is incredibly noisy. What's causing all this noise, John?
Well, we have here the original apparatus that John Logie Baird used in 1926 to first produce television pictures. The noise is coming from a modern replica, which is working behind it, which indicates that one of the main downfalls of Baird's system was the noise that it produced.
And what is this, then?
Well, this is Baird's original equipment that was made out of 2 old tea chests and some bicycle parts. And in 1926, he actually got moving television pictures for the first time.
And what did they actually look like?
They look pretty grim, as you can see.
Very dodgy. I don't think I'd pay my licence fee for that. Alan, who does know?
We've actually jumped 10 years now to 1936, and we're at Alexandra Palace at the start of regular television programmes. And this is Joan Miller in Picture Page. Now, Picture Page was the world's first chat show, for want of a better modern description.
So she's a presenter, then?
She's actually a presenter.
Why is she sitting at a switchboard?
Well, the technique that she used was to introduce her guest by saying, "You're through, you're looking at," and actually push the plug in, and then the viewer would see the guest.
OK, we've got somebody a bit more animated over here. Who's this?
This is one of the people of a Picture Page. This is a tap dancer, a famous tap dancer called Johnny Knit, who was dancing on the top of a huge drum.
Didn't they? What was the sort of typical viewing family like in those early days?
Very wealthy. The start of television in 1936, you had approximately 400 sets, and a family like this is typical because the set next to you cost about £50, which is equivalent to a year's wage for the average working man. And for that, you got approximately 2 hours a day.
Not much for your money, then?
Much.
Of course, it all came to a very abrupt end in 1939, didn't it?
Yes, right in the middle of a Mickey Mouse cartoon, they switched the transmitter off because the government were frightened that the Germans would use it for direction finding to bomb London. And you had to wait until 1946 to see the second half of that Mickey Mouse cartoon, which is what they reopened with. And, of course, they brought back the original presenters.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? You remember me, Jasmine Blythe?
The Queen had quite an influence on television, the growth of it in the early days.
She did indeed, because in 1953 at the coronation, the BBC had requested permission to put cameras in the Abbey, and they'd been turned down. And the Queen got to hear of this and reversed the decision. And as a result of that, television overnight became respectable, and the number of sets doubled, and on Coronation Day, approximately 10 million people in Britain watched it live on television.
What did people make of it, suddenly having this sort of moving box in the corner of the room?
People had some very odd ideas. One of the favourite tricks was to actually cover the television set over with a blanket when it wasn't in use, so that the sunlight wouldn't fade the picture. And of course people used to get dressed up to watch it, partly because some people believed that it was a two-way process, that the presenters could see them in their homes, and also because the presenters tended to be extremely well-dressed and also tended to be upper class.
Tonight, new screens are opening up, and with the coming of the Midlands service, an overwhelming number of new viewers are watching in.
Yes, well, I don't think I would have got a job in those days talking like this, but the programmes still make pretty... So let's just have a look at a selection.
I didn't even know.
Wembley. What a great moment for English football.
It's always exciting to be at the beginning of anything new. Perhaps in years to come, you'll be telling your children how you saw the first children's hour ever to be televised from Lime Grove Studios.
Oh, Pibble.
What people?
And do you know what the little weed wanted to say? She said, "Stop quarrelling this minute. What will the white squirrel think of you? And go away if you're not."
We are the Diddy Men, itty bitty Diddy Men. We are the Diddy Men who always have a bash. We're full of Diddy joys, we make a gay and giddy noise. We are the Diddy Men who come from naughty Ash.
Tweet, tweet. It's a beautiful day, Harry. Here we are at the park. Well, as I was saying, you see, Harry, with me being an honorary king-size Diddy man, that's the reason Nigel Ponsonby Smallpiece has asked me to come along here to the park tomorrow and unveil this statue. It's in memory of his great-great-great-great-grandfather, Sir Basil Montgomery de Vere Fortescue Ponsonby Smallpiece.
Oh, yeah. He was a great man. He was Squire of Diddyland.
Harry, look! Hamish, what on earth? Oh, Nigel's going to be absolutely livid when he sees this. What are you doing? You can't have a great big, huge hoarding right next door to his ancestral statue.
I cannot help that, Doddy. I've decided to attract more business for my wee shoppy by advertising. And I cannot afford to throw good money away on statues like old money bags.